Saying good morning because it is not noon yet here in Arizona. And it's a beautiful day. I'm sitting outside. I got to show you guys this. Take a look. And if you're on Instagram, you got to see this beautiful view that I'm experiencing. Anyway, let me put my computer down in a logical place. I'm pumped to be here. I'm here to answer your questions. Any question that you might have about your online sales, your jewelry business, and all the things. And for those of you who don't know, I'm Tracy Matthews. I'm the Chief Visionary Officer over at Flourish and Thrive Academy. And I help jewelry designers and makers create financial stability and security and freedom in their lives using their jewelry business as a vehicle and really design lifestyle businesses around what they care about the most in life. And I'm excited to be here today to talk about just about anything. So I'd love to know, if you have a question for me today, what I would love for you to do is let's queue them up. If you're here on Facebook, tell me your name and your business. And then also you could just drop your question in the comments. I will answer just about anything. I can't say anything at all, but if you want to ask me a personal question, happy to answer it. But I'm here really to support you. I do these every once in a while, in particular when we are in the process of just serving our community, I guess is the best way to put it, right? And we are launching, or we actually not launching, we are in the intake period for a brand new program that we're, it's not a brand new program. It's actually a program that we're bringing back called the TYC, the Train Your Customers to Buy From You Online workshop. We only do it once a year. That's why I'm saying brand new. And there's a lot of the content is brand new. We've actually completely upgraded it since the last 2 years. We've run this 2 years in a row. This is our fourth version of the TYC, and it is backed by popular demand. We actually were about to retire it last year, and we kept getting emails. People were asking like, hey, can you bring it back? Can you bring it back? And we had such a great response. We are almost filled up because it's a small group environment and we have 5 spots left. And a couple people were asking me questions. I did a post on Instagram yesterday about a person I was talking to over the weekend. Her name's Julia, or actually at the end of last week. And I shared this scenario, and Julia obviously is not her real name. I'm not going to call someone out on on social, but at the end of the day, it was a situation that comes up often. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about Julia's story. I'm going to talk about some other designers' story who are kind of facing that same thing. Like they're not really sure if like right now is the right time to take a leap, and they're kind of coming up against some internal struggles. And so today I really want to talk a lot about mindset and the mindset of success, because I think that is what is super important, no matter where you are in your business, to continually grow, especially when things don't go your way. It's funny, I posted this video, and if you want to see it after this live is over, you can head on over to the Facebook page and or Instagram and check it out. I'm actually going to jump on our Facebook page really quickly because I'm going through StreamYard so that people can find this video. Because I did tell them that it was, whoops, sorry, someone's calling me. I don't know how to put it on Do Not Disturb, because I want to make sure that we have this video pinned to the top, and my team is not here to support right now. So we're doing what we can. Anyway, over the weekend, I was texting with someone, a girl who actually was all the way in the queue to join the TYC. And then she backed out because she got like super nervous about making an investment in herself. And I want to talk about that a little bit because I was just messaging with her this morning. And when I was messaging with her, she was going back and forth. She's like, I'm not sure if the right time. I had a really successful business selling at shows. I was making anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 a month. And, I really wanted to be able to take things online. And, quite frankly, a lot of people get really stressed about this. They don't know how to do that transition and they're worried about it. And so certain people last year just sat back and waited for whatever to happen to their business. And other people last year actually leaned in and used the trainings like the TYC or the strategies that we teach over here at Flourish and Thrive and had amazing years. They had an amazing, amazing business. And, so I just asked her the question, when are you going to commit to your business and when are you going to take it seriously? And I think she was a little bit thrown aback, and she's like, what do you mean I'm taking this seriously? I'm doing all the things. I'm like, well, you sure didn't show up for it last year. You just like ran away worried that people weren't going to buy from you. And now you're not showing the universe that you're committed because you're not actually leaning in. And what I mean by this is that there's a difference between, and I talked about this because Julia was kind of doing the same thing. There's a difference between just collecting information and weighing all your options and all that stuff. And there between doing that and actually taking action and investing in yourself. And I've been studying the law of attraction for like 25 years. And I've gotten back into like leaning into the law of attraction stuff for a very specific reason, because I know 100% that the energy that we give off as human beings is what we get back in return. And so I'm always in the process of healing my trauma from childhood, or whatever you want to call it, and healing my soul and becoming a better person. And a lot of that requires you to let go of your old stories and belief systems about yourself to rise up into the new version of you. And when you do that, you end up attracting the things that you want in your life. So let's say you need the right people to come into your life. They will just show up. You need more money or income coming into your life. It will start to show up. This doesn't mean that you don't have to do the work, because you definitely have to do the work. You have to take committed and inspired action every single day. And you have to walk the walk, but you have to get your resonant frequency, your vibration and everything in that space first. Because if you don't, you continue to get the same things over and over again that actually weren't working before. And so I use this example as a perfect one. Who here, raise your hand if you've ever had price resistance with your products or your jewelry. Just give me a that's me or something in the comments, because, and I love it, Sean saying, I've leaned in. A bunch of people here are joining us for the TYC, which is awesome. A bunch of people saying yes, thumbs up, all the things. So the reason why I ask this is because if you have price resistance, the first question that I started asking people recently is, where are you resisting investing in yourself lately? And the reason why I ask this question is because how can you expect people to invest in you and value what you are doing if you don't even believe enough in yourself to have the confidence to invest in yourself, that you don't have enough confidence in yourself, or you're not committed enough in yourself to take a risk or get uncomfortable for a minute to put your money where your mouth is. And what I mean by this is someone saying, I just raised all my prices. What I mean by this is this. Look, it's super annoying when someone haggles you on price. They're saying, oh, I can make that myself, or, oh, my friend makes jewelry, I'll just have her make it. Like, I can count this. The same kind of stuff used to happen to me too. But because I value myself so much and I invest in myself, I invest in my education and growth, I hire mentors and teachers. I learn from people who've done it before. I've learned from the mistakes of people who've done it before me. And that helps me get a leg ahead. And because I'm making that commitment in myself, it raises my vibration to the next level. And I see this happening all the time. There's someone in one of our programs over here called Momentum. Her name is Twyla Dill. And she said on a webinar around the new year, that our masterclass that we were having, the path to six figures online. She's like, last year, she was honest. Last year was a really hard year for me. I lost all of my in-person business, and most of her sales came from in-person. She did still have a six-figure year, so it went well. But at the same time, it was hard. But she said, you know what? I truly believe in investing in myself. And if it weren't for this community, meaning the Flourish and Thrive Momentum community that she's in, and putting skin in the game, like, I don't know where my business would be here that day, because it kept me on track to go all in and commit to myself for that outcome and result. And so anytime someone is saying, I'm struggling with my business, I am not getting the sales that I wanted, and they're getting price resistance and all these things, the first thing I ask them is, where are you not valuing yourself? Because if you're not valuing yourself enough to invest in yourself, then how can you expect people coming into your network to do the same? Does that resonate with anyone who's really been struggling with price resistance or that sort of thing? And I just want to really bring that home, because I think it's a powerful thing to be thinking about as you're growing your business. I'm trying to read the questions in the chat for a second. Okay. Okay, so someone's asking a question on Facebook. We're going to be traveling for about 3 weeks doing content for our jewelry, gemstone, and mineral company. I'll be doing Facebook Lives, reel stories, and static images from the road, as well as sandbagging a lot of evergreen content for future use. I feel like I'm going to drown my followers with travel content. Should I still be posting normal published, no like, trust content and then sell content that I usually do? Or should I just scrap it for the on the road coverage? Well, what I would do is alternate it. Why can't you do a little bit of both? I would get a feel for what your audience actually likes to see from you. Meaning, if you are in a groove of posting about once a day or twice a day or whatever it might be, and that works for you, then continue with that and then rotate travel content into the no like trust content. So I wouldn't scrap it completely, but you can also do a lot in stories and bank it for later for flashbacks and stuff like that. So that's a great question. Candace over on Instagram is saying, I started investing in myself in 2018 and it totally changed the game. Candace, I'd love to know how that changed the game for you. So for those of you who don't know, I'm here to answer any question that you have for your business right now, and I'm here to help you. Marsha is, I thought that was Marsha here, which is amazing. Awesome. Someone is saying, I had a friend tell me that my prices were way too high. They never bought my quality of jewelry before, so they didn't even know how expensive my stuff is. Exactly. This is such a great thing to say, because a lot of times what happens, okay, who here has ever had, wanted to crowdsource their decision-making process? Here's what I mean by that. Like, let's say you're not sure about something. For instance, we had this designer who was thinking about investing in a program of ours. So she asked like all the people that she knew who were jewelry designers if they thought it was worth it to invest in our program. And some of them have never heard of it from us, and you could guess which ones when I tell you what the outcome was before. And other people had been followers of ours for a long time. So, and had also taken this particular program. So she crowdsourced her decision-making process. And guess what the answer was? It was a 50-50 split, exactly down the middle, of people saying, I think you should take it and I think you shouldn't. And you know why that happened? It's because the people who don't have a frame or experience or coming from a different lens, don't believe in investing in themselves, of course, are going to say no. Because if you think about it, how many people in your life are entrepreneurs or have their own business? How many of the people that you know are entrepreneurs, have their own business, or are doing something like this, besides the people that you've met in our community? That doesn't really count because we're curating all that together. The reason why I ask this is because if you have a husband or a partner or a wife or whatever who works for a corporation, they've only ever had another job. You come from a family who is not entrepreneurial. They think that it's safer to have a real job. I don't think that's the truth at all. But some people still think it's safer to have a real job. I'm sure that all the people who got laid off last year during COVID because the small businesses were shut definitely do not think it's safer to have a job working for someone else when those businesses are shut down or any of the places that they worked for are shut down. So if you're asking someone who doesn't have a context frame or doesn't have experience that is relevant to yours, how could they answer you in a way that actually would serve you, right? How could they potentially answer you in a way that could actually serve you? This goes for everything that you do in business. If you were asking people who don't have a frame, there's no way that they would get it. In fact, my friends say to me all the time, Tracy, I don't know how you have been able to have a business for 25 years. And even when your first business had to pivot and you had to start over and do all the things, how you possibly could keep going when things went wrong. And I'm like, the trade-off is more important to me than having so-called security. And what I mean by that is that people who think that getting a stable job is more secure than taking control of their own destiny are always going to think that way until maybe they don't have a job anymore. And then they might get to a place where they're like, oh, well, maybe I should figure out how I can make money. And what I teach people to do over here at Flourish and Thrive Academy is I don't feed them dinner. I teach them to make dinner for their family and lunch and breakfast too for the rest of their lives. You heard that saying, you can give a man a fish and feed him for a day, or you can teach a man to fish and feed him for life. Well, I'm teaching you guys to fish. And so it's, if you want to, get into a place where you're able to like create security for yourself and your family and all these other things, and have the freedom to control your schedule and to have financial freedom so you're not reliant on someone else, then you're in the right place. Stop asking everyone else for an opinion. And so the same thing happens when people like go to their spouse and basically they're not committed to themselves enough. So they go and ask permission and they outsource their decision making, right? And what I mean by this is like, I used to do this with my ex-husband. I don't do it anymore. Like, and it drives Jason crazy because he's like, in a good way, because he's like, how can you make decisions so fast? I'm like, I just know, I feel it. I know that this is the right thing to do. And so, when someone like is like investing in themselves and in a program and they don't pull the trigger right away, usually, and this could be with anything, right? Like if you're indecisive at all about your business or anything, that any of the moves that you're making in your business, take a look at this right now, or right here. Come back to this video because this is really powerful. So a lot of people go to their partner or their spouse or their parents or whatever it might be, their friends even, to ask permission. So this is similar to the story I was telling before, if they should take a move and an action instead of trusting their own gut and intuition. So what this does is that you're basically asking someone, once again, with no frame or no context, permission to do something that they really have no basis for, right? They don't understand how this would actually help you because they're getting mentored at work. They're working a salary job with like, maybe like a 5% pay rate increase every single year until they get promoted. It's very stable. There's not a lot of upside. They're going to probably be making about the same money for periods of time, right? Who they see like earning capacity as finite, right? They don't see that investing in yourself is something that could actually catapult you into a direction of making a commitment on yourself and actually of growth. And so you're asking someone permission who's going to say, well, like, actually, I don't think you should do that because that's money gone instead of an investment in your future. Instead, what you should be enrolling your friends, your spouses, and everyone too, if you want to talk to this, is for support. And what I mean by that is that if you are really committed to yourself, it starts with that commitment to yourself first. That means you got to own it, right? You have to decide for yourself, is this right for me or not? And if you're committed, you know what that means? That means you're going to probably have to get uncomfortable for a while. And what I mean by that is that, there's never going to be perfect timing. People say like, oh, it's just not a good time for me right now. There's never going to be a ton of extra money in your bank. Obviously, if you're watching a video like this and you're engaging, like if you want to get support in your business, like especially when you're in a place where you're trying to build traction, you're actually trying to build that traction, and that investment in yourself is what makes the money come into the account. Like you're probably not coming here with like a ton of extra money in your account. That's like why you're actually like looking for help, right? Or maybe you do because you have other sources of income, or whatever it is. I don't know what your financial situation, but that's like sort of beside the point. Things have to get uncomfortable for you to make a change, right? Because through change is where the discomfort starts, right? And through change, through that discomfort is where you become the best version of you in that evolution. And so in order for massive change to happen in your situation, in your business, in whatever it is that you're trying to create in your life, you have to get uncomfortable first. And that requires you to grow. And discomfort is like the seedling to growth in your business. So whether it's something like trying to get training your customers to buy from you online, or it's like getting out and being a better salesperson or whatever it might be, like all these things are going to require you to get discomfortable or uncomfortable and experience discomfort for a period of time. But eventually over time, that discomfort becomes easy and it no longer is uncomfortable to put yourself out there, or to invest in yourself because you've seen the results, right? Is this making sense to you guys? Yeah, and Lisa is saying, this goes for everything you do in life. Don't ask people who have no idea about what you need for an opinion. This is so true. So I want to remind you of that. And someone else is saying, I can't see your name. It says, hardly anyone gets our need to hustle. It is so, so true. So I'm getting some questions here. If you're thinking about joining me for the TYC, and if you're not sure if it's right for you, please ask me now, or you can shoot me a text. I'm going to drop my number in here. Shoot me a text at 602-492-1258, and I am happy to message back after this Q&A is over. So we are getting some questions in the feed over here at Instagram as well. So let me scroll up. Let's see. Okay, this is a great, so Suzanne is saying, this comes up and for her in arguments all the time, probably with her spouse or people around her, about the investment that she made on LTF. And what she's saying is, I'm a little way through it. Like, I've only done part of the program, and I've already seen massive changes in the growth of my business. So Suzanne, I want to give you a shout out right now, Suzanne Kuhlman Ceramics, because we help a lot of ceramicists. Just want to give you a shout out right here and say, like, congratulations, great work for putting yourself out there, because really you took a leap when you probably didn't feel completely supported. And at the end of the day, you're committed to yourself and in getting those results. So Kathy is asking, what's the best way to build up an email list if you do shows to collect them, and your website form if it's not converting effectively? So I'll take the website form one first, and then I will also give you one tip at the show. But we have in our TYC program, we have 3 trainings, one about grassroots, one about email list building, and one about grassroots marketing, email list building, and about collecting, transferring in-person conversations and shows into email list subscribers. So we go in depth there, but I'll give you the high level because I don't have a time here to do a 2-hour training for each of those topics because there are a lot. So with the opt-in on your website, clearly whatever you're doing, the placement of it, whatever the copy says, or your offer, meaning what is the promise that they get in exchange for opting in, is not resonating with your audience. So that could be for a few reasons. You might not be getting enough traffic to your website. It just might not be interesting. You might have your opt-in buried like at the base of your website and call it a newsletter. No one wants to subscribe to a newsletter. And there's a million other reasons. So first thing, I would check out like different pop-ups, maybe like Privy or something like that, where you can try to capture people on the exit intent or as they land on your site to see if that helps improve conversions. We also talk about different ways, different placements of opt-ins in our Train Your Customers workshop. And then someone's asking if you can't do shows to collect email addresses. Well, obviously at in-person shows, they're coming back this summer. It's a great way to collect email addresses. And if you aren't doing any shows anytime soon, then I would leverage your grassroots friends and family network. So one of my favorite ways to grow my audience still is through networking through the people and the communities that you already know. This is about showing up on virtual events. This is about networking with your friends and family and your professional and personal network to expand your audience. And so we give you different ways, from reaching out to share what I'm doing with a friend, or give them an incentive to sign up for your email list. We give you the whole script and everything that you need to do from this grassroots methodology in our Train Your Customers workshop. So those are 2 things that I would do. I would test the offer, or 3 things. Test the offer. I would test where you're positioning your opt-in. So those are actually 2 tips for that email opt-in thing. And for growing your email list when you aren't going to be doing shows, I would start with your grassroots networks. I would be posting your opt-in on social media. I would have a reason for people to opt in and continue doing this over and over and over again. Seema is asking me a question. Thank you so much for doing this. Will you be suggesting apps, plugins for our websites for various digital marketing in the TYC? The answer is yes. We, our experts end up sharing all of our favorite apps and tips and all the things in there. And anytime you're looking for something, we are happy to dig it up for you. So that's the amazing part about getting this personalized coaching with us. Even though it is a group coaching program, you get direct feedback on your work. And this is what makes it so different than taking a course or one of our higher level coaching programs where you're getting one-on-one, because it's like in between. And so the investment is a lot more affordable, super affordable. Plus, when at the end of the day, it's also not at such a high level where the investment is like over $1,000 a month or whatever that might be. Plus, it's more than just taking a course. We are actually showing up to the feedback sessions and getting feedback into your work. And so someone else mentioned up here that they are thinking about the TYC, but for some reason they're on this. They're in a blitz of hardcore content creation. Well, my question would be to you, if you're in a blitz of hardcore content creation, like I always support people like batching content and getting stuff up on front. But if you're actually trying to train your customers, like, is that really the reason, or is it another excuse about the reason why? Because like, I feel like if you're trying to build your business and you're making an excuse or a reason why you might not be doing that, then I would take a look at like really the commitment to this growth. Is it that you're not willing to make the time and to be a little bit uncomfortable, or is it that you really can't do that? Obviously, I can't answer that question for you, but I see this time and time again, is that I grew my business working 3 jobs at first. I had a job as a hostess, a job in retail. I was working full-time in school, going to school full-time, and building my jewelry business on the side as a side hustle. I did that for many, many years until I had enough money saved where I could go full-time in my business. And even then, like I had to hustle and do a bunch of things. And it required me to be committed to my growth. And when I reinvented myself in the early 2000s, or after 2009 and 10, that year when I was like launching my new business, I actually had a bunch of other things that were going on too. And there was a serious time constraint. I was teaching 15 yoga classes a week. I was working freelance contract position, designing jewelry for a $400 million company. I was launching my jewelry business and doing a bunch of other random projects at the same time. And sometimes the only time that I had to actually work on business development and growth was like early in the mornings or after work. And it was hard. I'm not going to lie. Like hustling like that was really, really hard. But because I had these time constraints built into my day, I got so much done. And so I personally would never use the excuse of time again, because I know that sometimes the more you have on your plate, the more effective you are. And one of the things that I teach the designers in our programs, in particular the TYC, is to identify whether something is really a priority. So if you say you want to make more online sales, but you're making excuses about why you're not taking the actions to do it, like ask yourself these questions. Is this a priority for me right now? Like, is this really something that I want to do? If the answer is yes, then you need to take a look at the way you're approaching your business. Because if you're spending most of your time on things that aren't actually driving sales, then you're not showing the universe. This goes back to my law of attraction conversation earlier. You're not showing the universe that you're serious about your business, and you'll get the same thing in return. The second part of this question, is this a priority for me to do right now? Or is this a priority to do right now? Excuse me, that's a different question. And what I mean by that is when we work with our students to launch their 90-day strategic plans in our Momentum program, which is like the step above TYC, we ask them the 3 core projects that they want to move forward. And so one of the filtering questions that we ask them because no matter what, people get overwhelmed, and that's part of the reason why they're in a coaching program like ours. I'm just going to put a little more lip gloss on because my lips are getting chapped. Is that sometimes they get a little bit ADD and they want to go and do something that's not on the plan. And so we have to rein them back in. Hey, you said that you wanted to do this. Is this still a priority? And if it is, this thing over here that you're trying to do is not really supporting this plan, right? So let's decide which is a priority. Is it the plan, the priority, or is it this other thing that you're getting distracted by the priority. And so you have to decide, like, is this a priority right now? And then the final filtering question, is this a priority for me? Is this something that necessarily that I have to do? And what I mean by that is there's a lot of ways to get support in your business. A lot of times we distract ourselves with busy work, not work that is going to grow our business. And so if you can decipher the difference between those two things, perhaps there are things on your list that you're doing that you're getting overwhelmed with, that you're doing all the stuff that is not a priority necessarily for you to do. It's something that someone else can do. And so I just want to mention that. So if you're making an excuse that you don't have time for it, well, you might not have time to invest in your business, invest in a program like the time commitment in a program like TYC. And if you're still struggling and you're not getting help, then I would question if you're actually committed to that goal and if it's a priority to you right now. Because if it's not, then just let's call a spade at the end of the day, right? So I got another question over here. Let's see. Any advice to someone just starting out in business? Yes. Number one, I would find a community like Flourish and Thrive. You could join our community. Amazing. We'd love to help you. That is full of people who've actually done what you're trying to do in advance. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of stuff that you can find on the internet. There's a lot of places you can go. There's a lot of peer-driven communities of people who say that they know what they're doing, but they don't technically have successful businesses. You can define what success looks like for you. But what my recommendation to anyone who is trying to do something or launch a business or get results is to find someone who is way more successful than you. I'm talking like hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars more successful to you than you, and lean on them. What I see happening a lot of times is people, and it's a similar mindset issue, is that they just find something instead of the best thing. And so they start, using peer focused information. And while that can be good sometimes to make decisions in their business, they're being misguided, quite frankly, along the way. There's a lot of people who can give you advice. I'm just one of them at the end of the day. So I would listen to podcasts. I would find direct industry insiders who are consulting and teaching people to do what you're trying to do. And I would take their programs. I would invest in my business that way and implement what they've learned, especially if the people running the programs have like amazing outcomes for their students. And what I mean by that is over the years, we've had insane testimonials for all of our programs, laying the foundation, the TYC and Momentum. And at the same time, we're really committed to helping people get results. So we're super focused on that. All right, next question. James says, I'm interested in expanding my online sales, but I'm encouraged an obstacle of deliveries of how to deliver products to your customers, I think. And they're not sure how to solve it. James isn't. Okay. And James has a funny question. He wants to ask me, am I ticklish? I am ticklish on my legs. So that's there you go. Little ticklish on my legs and probably a little bit on my sides or belly. All right. So if you're having issues with supply chain or delivering your products, I would just communicate lead times to your customers in advance. So if you know that you're shipping internationally and things are going to take a little bit longer, then I would highly recommend that you just bake that in to your shipping policies and communicate that with your outside customers and make sure that they're completely aware of it. All right. Someone's saying, I missed the beginning, but can you please give advice on helping hone content that is on brand? How do you whittle down what content I will hit the hardest in terms of branding and sales? Okay, so we talk a lot about developing content through the know, like, trust filter over here at Flourish and Thrive. And what that means, that should mean to all of you, and that what this means to me is just that when people are getting to know your brand, there is this, what we call the marketing journey. And people, when they encounter your brand for the first time, have little or no awareness. Maybe over time, they get to know you a little bit better. Maybe over time, they get to trust you a little bit. And at that point, when they start to trust and believe that you're a reliable resource, that's when they make the decision to buy. And so there's 5 stages of the buyer journey. Basically like the know, like, trust phase, and then the sales phase, and then the loyalty phase. And the loyalty phase is after someone knows you for a while and they become your repeat customer. So as you are creating content, I would filter all that content through that know, like, trust filter. So that means like indoctrinating people on your brand. Like, here's what we stand for. Here's who I am. Here's my experience as a designer. Here are my core values. Some of those end up crossing over into the like phase, because the people who are going to eventually buy from you actually probably have the same values as you. So you start to develop like content. This might be posting behind the scenes, pictures of your jewelry, things that create a connection with people, funny memes, humor, comedy, all the stuff that gets them to actually like what you're doing. And then the trust filter is really about social proof. So this could come in the form of testimonials, reviews, customer case studies, all those things. So you want to always be thinking through this filter of know, like, trust, because that's what leads to sales. I hope that is helpful, Torre. And there you go. Primo Jules is asking, how much overlap is there between the TYC, the Train Your Customers workshop, and LTF? There is not a lot of crossover because it's a little bit different. Laying the Foundation is our signature program. And while we do have some of the strategies that we teach in the TYC, it is much more in depth in the TYC. So Laying the Foundation is a program where we give you like a taste of all the things. We call it, like, in our Desire Brand Effect methodology, like if we had Desire Brand Effect school and we were going to send you to college, right? The Desire Brand Effect College. You would start with the 100 level branding courses in all the classes, right? And so you're starting sort of at the beginning level. And as you move on, you would, and become a sophomore and a junior and a senior and all those things, you move on to 200 level content, 300 level content, 400 level content, right? So I consider the TYC sort of that 200 level content in the Desire Brand Effect University. And what I mean by that is that we're building on things that you've learned in Laying the Foundation, but we're going super deep instead of wide. So we take a few core strategies that work and move you into action to help you implement it. So it's similar but different, and they aren't the same at all. So you cannot, if you've taken Laying the Foundation and you're considering the TYC, it is 100% an amazing choice for you. In particular, because it helps train you to train yourself to get out there and get on top of it and actually create a solid promotion schedule that works. In the first week of the Train Your Customers workshop, over and over again, the same outcomes come out from that one workshop. It's our grassroots list building and sales workshop. People say that in that first workshop, it literally changed their business forever. Results like doubled my email list. I'm getting daily sales now on my website, all these things just from that one training. And what that means is that they're making their investment back in the first week. Might take a little bit longer than 1 week to make the investment back, but what they learn in that is the thing that is driving that their basically them making their investment back, because it works so well. And so I just wanted to share that with you and share all the things. So Play It Leo Designs is asking, does Laying the Foundation, I'm going to be mostly answering questions about the TYC, but I'll answer this quickly. Does Laying the Foundation help you make your Shopify aesthetically appealing? Laying the Foundation is a sales and marketing program. In the TYC, we work with our web designer who actually gives you feedback on your website. We share with you in Laying the Foundation how to set up a Shopify site and some of the core tenets of developing an amazing user experience, but you don't get the one-on-one support that you get in the TYC. So it's definitely different. So the answer is yes, in our website video, but it's not like it's one training in that entire module, I guess, if that makes sense. Okay. Alessandra's asking, what if you don't have a grassroots network because you're from another country? My prices in dollars make my pieces unaffordable at my home country. So, Alessandra, you still have a grassroots network. You know people I'm assuming if you live in, let's just say you live in the United States, I don't know where you live, but you obviously know people who aren't you here. Unless you literally moved here and you know 0 people. And so if you have people that you know. So I would just make a list of all the people you know in the place where you live and in that network and ask them for support. So that's the best place to start. Okay, let's see. Going for the next question. All right, if you have questions, make sure that you type them in the chat below. Let's see. Okay, Seema's asking, thank you for, oh wait, sorry, I've already read that question. Vicky is asking, hi, I just jumped on. Do you have anything on pricing? This is where I struggle. I've started my own webpage and have some brick and mortar stores of lately. I struggle with our retail price, wanting to be able to sell wholesale. Well, Vicky, if you have you taken our Laying the Foundation program yet? We have a whole module on pricing, and we talk about how to price for wholesale first and to retail. So the trick with pricing is to understand like a typical wholesale markup. Start with your wholesale pricing first and then create your retail after that. So I spoke earlier in this. If you're getting price resistance from people, definitely listen to the replay of this video because price resistance is different than not properly pricing your product. So we talk about specific margins in that program. But basically, the gist is that you price for wholesale first, and then you add another 2 times to 2.5 for retail. But I would recommend anyone selling directly on their website that it's 2.5 times of markup over wholesale for your retail prices. Okay. Looking for more questions in the comments. All right. Candace is saying, I'm in LTF now and I am loving it. All right. Okay. Shelly's saying, hip return up before I was done. How do you feel about affiliate sales? Is it worth it if I'm working with some influencers? I think anything is worth it if you are getting results from your sales. So what I mean by that, if you're partnering with influencers and you're paying them an affiliate commission and they're actually selling product for you, then 100%, this is a great idea for you to actually grow your business and grow your sales. If it's not working and you're just paying a bunch of money and you're not getting sales from it, then it's probably not a good idea to work with influencers. So once again, I'm Tracy Matthews. I'm the Chief Visionary Officer over here at Flourish and Thrive Academy. And I'm talking about how to train your customers to buy from you online. I'm also in an Ask Me Anything Q&A. So if you have a question for me, please ask. I'm happy to answer. I will be on for at least another 15 minutes, if not longer. We bumped up this Q&A a little bit earlier just because of some interviews that I'm doing later in the day. Let me take a little sip of water. So if you have a question about your business, I'm happy to answer it. And if you haven't enrolled or applied yet, we are about to start our Train Your Customers to Buy From You Online 12-week workshop. This workshop is designed to help move you into action and actually train yourself to get to a consistent marketing plan to move forward. The tactics that we teach you do work. That's why people like Cindy had 177% increase in sales. That's why Mela went from 5% website sales of her total sales to 25% in just 2 to 3 weeks. That's why Erin had a 400% increase in online sales over the last year by implementing everything that she learned in the TYC. She had a heavy in-person events business, and it literally saved her business last year. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/get more sales. I'm going to drop this. Here's the link, flourishthriveacademy.com/get more sales. And you can check out what the TYC is all about right now. If you have a question or you want the link over here on Instagram, you can shoot us a direct message and I'd be happy to send you the link right there. Also, if you would like to text with me after, if you're not sure if the TYC is right for you, feel free to shoot me a text. I'm going to give you my phone number right here. It is 602-492-1258. It's a special number I got just for texting students. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. I will not pick up the phone to call you, but I'm happy to text with you. I have too many meetings to schedule, so I have to just do it in between my meetings. And it will be me texting you, I promise. So 602-492-1258. If you have any questions and you'd like to chat about the TYC. Seema's asking, after the 12 weeks, will we have access to the program? Yes, we allow you to download all the trainings and recordings. Since we update the member site every year, that we have it. We actually didn't think we were going to bring the TYC back this year. So the chances of us bringing it back next year are pretty slim. We're going to be focusing just on our Momentum program, and this will just be an offering that we work with our Momentum students on moving forward in the future. However, we do let you download all those trainings and all the feedback loops too, because those feedback sessions, what people say oftentimes is that those feedback sessions are so helpful in listening to them over and over again, because sometimes people have questions that aren't necessarily questions that they thought that they had, but then they were inspired by someone else's questions. So super amazing. Elizabeth Cassetta Kincaid is saying, such a rock star. Woohoo! Rock star girl. All right, cool. Gisela is saying, oh, this is in line with the affiliate program. Gisela is saying, I saw somewhere that you recommended also to have an ambassador program. Can you explain more? Yeah, we talk about ambassador programs in the TYC, and we're actually going to be giving you a standalone training about ambassador programs. Essentially, an ambassador program is just a way for you to enroll your repeat loyal customers or other people in your network into basically promoting what you do for them. So ambassador programs really succeed when you have people. I love it. I interviewed Chelsea Farmer of Horse Feathers Gifts about her ambassador program. One of her strategies is that people who want to be ambassadors have to act like ambassadors before they actually get accepted. And what she means by that is that they have to be out there sharing her work. They have to be tagging Horse Feathers Gifts on social. They have to be wearing the jewelry all the time. They have to be referring people in advance before they even ever get paid a commission. So the reason why this is super important for you is to start getting people to share what you're doing before you even have the official program. When people have really successful ambassador programs, Wendy Hively, she's one of our graduates. She also took the TYC, super successful. She's been in our community for a very long time. In that TYC program, she put together her own ambassador program. Basically, they have to post at least once a week about the brand, and they have to consistently refer customers. They earn a commission or credits towards jewelry. That was her incentive. And they get a discount code for their audience. And so it's easy to track because you can track using the discount code and the affiliate link. But the key here is the parameters in which the affiliate or in which the ambassador / affiliate program works is that they're required to be out there X amount of times a month, or else they get kicked off of the ambassador program. There is a company called Pura Vida Jewelry. And if you go and look at Pura Vida Ambassador, they have a really great ambassador program. Their audience is super young. They're like teenagers on the beach, but they get these young influencers who are like 16, 17, 18, 19. Natalia, Jason's daughter, she's 13, loves the Pura Vida jewelry. I bought her some for her birthday. And people that age are the ambassadors. So you want to make sure, but you can check out their kind of structure and how they're structuring the program as well. So I think it's a great way to get the word out about what you do. And more. Yeah, Shelly is asking, Shelly, let's see. Okay. So Shelly's asking about the affiliate sales. Is it worth it working with influencers? And she's also asking, what's the norm for profit sharing? So with influencers and like bigger ambassadors, probably more like 20%. I think you can do 10% with your other like more ambassador program, anywhere from 10 to 20%. You have to see like, is this going to really be worth their time? Or you could do 10% commission and 20% credits towards sales. So there's a lot of, or towards new product. So there's different ways to incentivize. And then Shelly's also asking, that's exactly what I need, social media and marketing strategies. Shelly, you should definitely take a look at the TYC. I think it would really help you. If you want more information about it, feel free to text me at 602-492-1258, or you can head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/get more sales and fill out an application right there. Because Shelly's also saying I'm great at in-person events, but I need more sales from my website. So who here is great at in-person events, but cannot figure out how to sell more online? Well, one of my favorite, give me a heck yes or something in the comments, because I really do want to know. One of my favorite parts about the Train Your Customers workshop is that me, Anna Maria, Quay, JJ, all of the people who are coaching you and many other coaches who have come from experiential world. And what I mean by that is they meet their customers in real life and then have to have a conversation later. It's, if you think about it, about continuing a conversation later, then it's easy to actually start transitioning those people into online customers. The problem is that you probably don't have the right technique, right? So you're awkwardly asking someone for their email address instead of making it enticing or an incentive for them to actually sign up for your email list. And you're asking, basically, it's similar to the conversation I was having before. It's like the level of confidence you have is the energy that you give off, right? So if you're saying like, I can have permission for your email address, or like, hey, you know what? I'd love to market to you and share with you some of the cool things I'm doing outside of the shows. If you're interested, I'd be happy to reach out. We have like awesome events, like insider access and those types of things. And that way, like if you don't make it to this event next year or something happens, then, you know, we are still in touch. So there's a variety of different ways that you can do it, but we teach you those confidence building techniques to actually own it and get people like literally signing up for your list when you're just like walking down the street and talking to people at any given time. And we give you a ton of strategies for this that you are really going to love. All right. Okay, so Lily is asking two separate questions. How much are ambassador programs? We don't sell ambassador programs, but as part of the TYC, we have an ambassador program. An ambassador program basically is something you would create, and you would pay out, either give credit towards jewelry for people referring you, and or pay a commission. So I hope that makes sense about what an ambassador program. The Train Your Customers workshop is our 12-week workshop, and I personally think it is so value priced. The contemporaries in my industry told me that I should be charging $6,000 for the 12-week period. We are charging a highly affordable $1,000 a month. So it ends up being $3,000 when you pay in full. We also have two different versions of the payment plan where you can extend payments over time. And we do that because we know some people like the option of being flexible with timing. But what ends up happening is a lot of the people who get on the payment plan end up making their investment back so quickly that they're just like, oh, I'd prefer to just like pay it all off now, so I save the financing fees. So yes, it is an investment in your business, but we take you seriously and we want you to have some skin in the game. And we also have a hard cost to this because we are paying coaches to coach you. I'm giving you my time. The coaches on the staff are giving you their time, and we're all in when you're doing this. So, you know, it's like we put skin in the game, you put skin in the game, and we're committed to moving you forward and helping you grow. Irit Sorokin is asking, I used to know Irit, what other programs do you have? So we have a couple of programs over here at Flourish and Thrive. Basically, we have our Laying the Foundation program, which is our signature program that we started with 12 years ago. We just went through a massive overhaul to upgrade. We're always upgrading our content and programs here, and it is incredible. You will love it if you are in the startup phase in business. What I mean by startup phase is like you have been trying to build some momentum in your business and grow, get to a place where you're doing like 4, 5, 6 grand a month. It's really ideal for anyone who's doing less than 6 figures. But I always say that with a grain of salt, because certain people who are like doing like 50, 60,000 are actually perfect candidates for TYC. Because basically TYC is perfect for people who have some sort of foundation in their business already. And so what I mean by that is that they have sales coming in already from other sources. So maybe you sell wholesale, maybe you sell in-person shows. You might be getting some online sales. Maybe you're selling on Etsy or Amazon, but for some reason, selling on your website it hasn't clicked. You haven't figured out how to get enough traffic there. You're not building your email list consistently enough. And so you're relying on these other sources to fund your business. So we're going to help you transition those other sources and turn them into online sales in the program. So we have laying the foundation, the TYC. We only do the TYC Train Your Customers workshop once a year. It is a 12-week intensive workshop where we work with you on your business. This is the only time that you can get direct feedback unless you join our Momentum program from my coaches. Only way. This is the only way. In this sort of intensive environment where it's a very small group, we're on calls and we're literally looking on the Zoom calls at your work and giving you feedback. And our other program is Momentum. Momentum is a 2-tiered program. We have basically a only group coaching program and a hybrid group and one-on-one coaching program in that program. The investment for that program is much higher than than LTF or TYC, and it's for our high performers over here, people who are really scaling from where as many of them started actually at, doing like 5, 6, 7 grand a month, but they're scaling to multiple 6 figures in revenue a year. And so like the goal for them is to have consistent monthly 5-figure plus months online using their website as a tool for sales. So, but we help with a lot of things in that program. It's not just online sales. It has to do with building a team and structure and support and growing your business and helping you be the most highly efficient person that you possibly can in your business. Diana's asking, I'm working with mostly brass in my store and I really like it. I'm in LTF and just started my business. Should I offer a silver option for those that prefer it or just keep simple in the beginning? Well, that really depends. It depends. If you have a demand, I think silver is a great offering to add. People love it. But there is quite a difference in the price point. So I would continue through LTF and work through that collection development module and decide after that about where you want to go. I'd also ask if you're still active in our Diamond Insiders community, which is our LTF implementation group, then I would ask the coaches, Dawn and Nicole and Sarah in there a little bit for feedback based on your particular business, because they will be able to, in that group, look at your current product range and help you. Diana, so thanks for that question. It's a great question. Once again, I will stay here for as long as I have questions. I have a couple more that came in before, but since I'm getting questions live here, I'm answering them live. So Tori is saying, I'm unfamiliar with what Shopify is. Shopify is a website platform, and it's the recommended platform that we talk about over here at Flourish and Thrive. So if you don't have a website up yet, and you're thinking about a platform that's going to grow with you, we highly recommend Shopify. We also have a free trial. You can message us directly and ask for a free Shopify trial link, and I'm happy to share that with you if you shoot me a direct message. All right. Okay, I am going to answer more questions. I had some that came in before, and I can't remember if I talked about this yesterday. So this is something that, it was a text message that I got from someone who was texting me on social. Her name will be private because I don't actually, unless it's a positive thing, I don't actually tell anyone's real name over here unless they give me permission. So I was talking with a designer who was wondering if the TYC was right for her. Actually, she even had a phone call with Natasha and then backed out at the last minute because she freaked out because of the investment and didn't think she was ready for it. And she had a really strong in-person business. And then when COVID hit, she just stopped. Her business stopped. She didn't keep going. She was too nervous to ask people for the sale. And so basically her business has been stagnant. And she's wondering, like, how do you know when it's the right time to invest in yourself? And is this the right program for her right away? So right now, and she was concerned about the timing and all those things. So it was a lot of things. It was the investment, about basically enrolling herself and making that commitment to herself, like because she backed out of the backed out of moving forward because of a lack of confidence in herself. And so that's really what I want to talk about. As we're growing a business, it's going to take you as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, courage, right? To commit to yourself and your outcomes. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of uncertainty out there. It is hard and it's uncomfortable to grow. And sometimes we're having massive meltdowns in the process. Sometimes, you might even be worrying or concerned or thinking like, am I really on the right path? You're on the right path when you're actually moving forward and growing as a human being. And so I was listening to this book the other day. It's called like The Power of Money. That's not the name of it or something. It's by a guy named Kyle Cease. And he's a comedian. He's been all over the place. People are calling him a QAnon conspiracy theorist. But I saw him on a podcast that I like, and I'd seen him in person in New York. And he's a funny comedian. And so I was interested to see, it's called The Illusion of Money. Interested to see what he talked about from a money perspective. And he talks about this perspective of the three Helens. Imagine three women named Helen who are all in the same place, and they just, made $1 million or somehow won $1 million in the lottery. So Helen number one quits her jobs, takes that $1 million and just goes about living her regular life. Helen number two takes that money, still quits her job, and invests in the stock market a little bit to help her money grow. That seems like a logical thing to do, right? You're pulling back from the job you don't like. You are investing your money in the future, but that there are some limitations with that, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Then there's Helen number three, who decides to quit her job as well as the rest of the Helens. And she's always had this passion and a dream for starting her own business. So instead of investing in something like the stock market or just spending the money, she decides to invest in herself. And she does that by hiring a mentor and a coach, and by learning everything that she possibly can that will help her grow as a human being. So instead of investing in something like the stock market, she invests in herself. And the ramifications of that in the long term are palpable. And what I mean by that is that one investment that she made in that one course when she started had a ripple effect that led her to find the coach, that led her to grow the business and make the sales and get the team around her so that she can actually expand at a much faster level. So she's been able to multiply that money that she won as like the $1 million that she got, like 20 or 30 fold by making a commitment and trusting in herself. And obviously, $1 million is a lot. I'm not even sure if that was the number that he gave, but the reason why I think this story is important is because there's a difference between a cost and an investment. And when we don't train ourselves, excuse me for a minute, to think of investing in our business education as an investment in us, investing in you, all the people listening here, then it appears to be an expense. And anytime you're growing, you're making deposits or an investment into your emotional wealth bank. And sometimes that deposit will take time to flourish and thrive and grow into something palpable. And sometimes that deposit will actually grow really quickly. And so I want to remind you of that. And this is exactly, she actually was like, you're right. I was just scared because this is like a big leap for me. And like, well, I'll make a commitment to you to help move you into action if you commit to yourself and put your money where your mouth is. And what I mean by that is that this is not about me making money off of joining you in the TYC. In fact, I just see zero money from that program. It goes to pay the staff that is actually supporting you guys in that program, quite frankly. But at the end of the day, I'm so committed to helping you move forward in this program that I am willing to commit to you that I'm going to call you out when you're playing bullshit, to move you in the direction of putting yourself out there when you feel scared, and to inspiring you to take the actions that will get you the results. Now, I can't do the work for you. I can't make you do it. But at the end of the day, if you commit to yourself and you do what we say you will do, you will get a positive result. That's why our successful students all say within the first week of the TYC that first training, or whatever it is that the grassroots training that we teach them, makes a long-lasting ripple effect that has impacted their business forever. In fact, the last time we ran the TYC, the students in the program had such a great results that 50% of them joined us for our momentum program after. And the reason why I'm even telling you that is because if we weren't able to deliver results by moving you into action, that would not happen. There is no way in hell that 50% of those people would spend $10,000 a year to join us for our top tier program after just investing like $3,000 the 3 months before that, because it works. And that's the reason why. And so I really want to encourage you to get uncomfortable for a minute and think about where you're being complacent in your business if you aren't getting the result that you want. I love it. Gianna Pearl, who is joining us. Woohoo! I can't wait for the TYC. I love it. So I want you to think about, like, any time that you're feeling stuck, where are you getting complacent? And where are you just trying to be comfortable instead of sitting in that discomfort? So someone asked me this question. This was actually a question that was given me through to Natasha. She really wants to join the program. Her spouse is not on board, and she doesn't know what to do. She's trying to figure out a way, but right now she's in a space where the money is actually coming from their personal bank account instead of the business bank account. And so she has to get buy-in from her spouse, meaning what I mean by buy-in is she has to get the spouse on the same page. So I see this a lot. People go to their spouse, and I talked about this a little bit earlier, and I didn't have a chance to actually answer this question fully. So I'm going to right now. They want to outsource their decision-making. So they end up going to their network and say to the network, what do you think I should do? And so basically it's the same thing with the spouse. Hey, what do you think I should do? I want to do this, but is it okay if I do this? And so you're asking your spouse for permission, basically, to join a program. A much better way to get your spouse on board, or a friend or anyone that you need to get on board when there needs to be buy-in, because the money is not just coming from you or whatever, and they don't understand, is first, you need to start with this. You need to enroll them in the reasons why you want this, why you want to invest in yourself and in a program or coach or whatever it might be. This works for anything ever, forever. The reason why you need to enroll them is because they're coming from their own level of confirmation bias. They have a full-time job and they're making a steady income. They probably think what you're doing is risky, which I don't think being an entrepreneur is risky. But at the end of the day, what you want to do is to make sure that you're giving them the reasons why. You go to them and say, look, I really need your support right now. I have this dream of growing my business. Right now, what I need to learn is how to do online sales. And for some reason, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, and it's not working. And I trust these people. They have great outcomes. They have great results, or I trust this mentor, or whatever it is, whatever you're doing. Or I've heard that this show is a great show to participate in, whatever it is. And look, I'm not asking you to give me permission. What I'm asking is that you support me in this decision. And I promise that at the end of this, when I do get X result, I'm committed to implementing the program and doing everything that I can to make my investment back as soon as possible. You can even give yourself a deadline, which I think is really powerful, but maybe by the end of the program. I am so committed to this that once I do and I start turning a profit off of this investment, I am willing to take you out to dinner on the money that I made for my business, or I'm willing to take you on a trip, or I'm willing to do this for our family, or I'm willing to do X, Y, and Z. And there's two reasons why this works, not only for you, but for them. The reason why this works for you is because you're actually getting commitment from yourself to do what you say you're going to do. And when you do it, when you make that commitment, you have to stand up to it and follow through. But also, it gets your partner or spouse or whoever this other person is on board to buy into your dream. Because look, if you're committed enough to tell them, I am going to do whatever it takes to get this done, then you're literally showing them that you are committed, and it shifts the energy. they're going to pick up on that and be like, all right, well, let's do this. And you can have a consequence if you don't actually follow through. And maybe there's a consequence there if that's what's going to be the thing. But at the end of the day, you can't keep putting out a vibe of like, I need permission to grow my business. Like, I'm giving you permission right now. I'm giving you all the permission that you need ever in your life to go after your dreams. Is that enough? There's your permission. And the permission comes from the fact that I've been an entrepreneur for 25 years. Sure, I've had some ups and downs. My first business failed because it got wiped out by something I had zero control over. It was funny. I had a troll on Instagram comment on my video yesterday about this. But I used that experience to regrow. I used that experience to make millions of dollars before and after. And I've used that experience to continue leading the growth path of entrepreneurship for the next like 15 years after that. The reason why I think that that's so powerful is because how many people can say that they, even in the face of adversity, like picked themselves up by the bootstrap and kept moving forward. There's nothing wrong with people that didn't do that and chose to go get a stable job. But I see the upside of entrepreneurship so much that I am willing to inspire you to do the same for yourself, because I know that I'm never going to have an income cap. Like, I can make as much money as I want to. I just have to do the things that are actually going to grow my businesses to get there. In fact, I put it out there in the universe. I'm like, you know what? I'd really like to put $5,000 in my savings and use some money to put in some alternative investments. Like, here it is. I'm putting the energy out there. Bring what I'm trying to create back to me. And guess who landed a $25,000 ring project a couple of days ago. So I got the $5,000 and a lot more for that. And I just got confirmation from the customer that the wire should be hitting my account tomorrow. And I'm telling you that because, at any given time, you have the power to call on anything that you need to get what you want. So if you want to join a program like the TYC or one of our other programs over here, and you've been on the fence about it, and you're using the excuse of, I don't have the money, and this is an expense and not an investment in myself, you're not investing deposits in yourself, like Kyle says, then I want you to really think again about, like, are you really committed to your outcomes? Are you committed to putting some skin in the game? Are you committed to doing whatever it takes to build the business of your dreams? It's okay if you aren't, but just be honest with yourself. That's all I'm asking. And at the end of the day, like, you will feel a huge sense of relief, because if you just are honest with yourself and say, you know what, this isn't a priority right now, and I'm just going to take what comes to me and not put a lot of effort into it, then all the charge of and like feelings of not being worthy enough and all that stuff just go away. Right? Have you ever experienced that? I just want to know. I'm going to take a sip of water right here, right now. Okay. Lily is saying, how much should you set aside for the TYC course per day or week? Okay, I want to be clear, Lily, it is not a course. It is intensive. So it's a workshop. On Thursdays, we have our workshop. And on Tuesdays, we have our feedback loop. We give you 5 days in between, and we switched it so it's not during the week. We give you the weekend to actually implement, because we know a lot of you are doing things. You have families and stuff like that. And it's too hard to implement during the week. So you have all weekend to implement. We give you feedback on a Tuesday, and it's a coaching program. So more, or an intensive workshop. So more so than like a course, we're basically, okay, here's the strategy. Now go implement it. Bring it back on Tuesday. We'll give you feedback. We'll tell you how to improve it. And then go implement it. Get out there, get results. Does that make sense? So it's different. So each of those is about 2 hours each. We have some extra, and then plus implementation time. So I would say if you're really going for it, it's probably going to take you about 8 hours a week, which will require you to probably get up early some mornings, stay up late working on it, and maybe not watch TV or take time away from other stuff. But what I will say is that if you do the work, it works, and you will get sales from it. All right. So I mentioned, I got an email before. Someone was asking about what I like to do for marketing. And once again, if you have any more questions, I'll be on here for about another 10 minutes. What do you like to do for marketing that is not just email marketing that grows? So a lot of people focus on social, but one of my favorite things right now that brands like Metal Marvels and others are using is text marketing. And the reason why I love text marketing is because text marketing allows you to reach your customer. Most people answer text messages and to reach your customers right on their phone. In fact, I buy from brands all the time who I'm on their text messaging list. It's a little bit harder for me to hand over my email number or my phone number for a text message. But if it's a brand that I love, I will do it. And so text marketing is working really, really well right now if you're doing it right. And I like it. And I think it's actually the wave of the future. I don't know if you guys know this, but with the new, the big tech companies, like while they were banding together for a while, now banding against each other. And the new technology that iOS is putting out there is actually crushing retargeting pixels. And what that means is that it's going to be a lot harder to advertise in the future years that are coming up, probably starting in 2022, because we can't track people's progress on the internet. And whether or not you realize that that's a thing or not, it's not really a creepy thing. It's been happening for years. And the reason why it's super valuable for consumers like us is because it gives us an opportunity to sell more jewelry and products when we do it right. And so you have to figure out alternative ways to reach out to your customers. And text marketing is an amazing way that's kind of like a Facebook ad. Someone is asking, what's the best way to get traffic to my site? So there's a lot of different ways. And I think using Google Analytics to understand where your traffic's coming from, using UTM codes to track traffic sources on your Google Analytics and in your social media marketing and other marketing that you're doing is really powerful. And I also think that analyzing the data is really powerful. So I want to say that first. First and foremost, get your Google Analytics hooked up so that you can track analytics. Also, I know Shopify has other types of analytic platforms and plugins for their website. I would get all the analytics set up on your website so that you can measure and track where your traffic's coming from. UTM codes are tracking codes that you can mask in a shortened URL like a bit.ly, or we use something called Pretty Links over here where it uses your domain, but will mask a really long URL into a shorter one. And it just tracks a traffic source. So we have different URLs for like traffic that's coming from Instagram versus Facebook, et cetera. When we're streaming in multiple places, it's a little bit harder to track, but you can use that. So if you're posting something on Instagram, you can use your Instagram link versus like Facebook, et cetera. So once you can understand where your traffic's coming from, then I would say double in to more of that. Now, a lot of people say like, oh, most of my traffic's coming from direct. And I don't know what that means. Well, direct typically means that it's coming from people on your email list or people that you've sent there directly. So most people are going to get the most traffic from their direct list. This is why it's important to build your email and text list. It's important why it's continually important to build your social media audience, but at the same time, get those social media followers on your text and email list. Does that make sense? Give me a heart or a like if that's resonating with you. And so I would just, once you kind of can identify where the most traffic is coming from, I would lean into that the most. And I bet for most of you, it's going to be email and text marketing. And yeah, so one of the things, I just want to go back to the text marketing for a second, because I coined it as this, is that it's 10 times more effective than even email is right now. And the reason why text marketing is 10 times more effective is because people will open the text list. Now you have to get permission to text people, meaning if we want to send out a text blast over at Flourish and Thrive, they have to be people who gave us permission to text them about content that we're doing. Like if you texted me on my phone number, I can't just add you to a text messaging list, nor would I do that. Like if you're texting me now over at my number, let me drop this. If anyone wants to ask me any questions, you can feel free to shoot me a text after this. My number is 602-492-1258. I've also dropped it over here in the Instagram chat. So you can, that's once again at 602-492-1258. And if you have any questions about the TYC or anything else in your business, I'm happy to support you with that. So, and I'm also going to drop the link one more time. It's Get More Sales. So FlorixDriveAcademy.com/get more sales. Let's see. Okay. So, I know a lot of people really struggle with time management, and a lot of you are on your phones right now. Give me a heck yes or a heart or a like if you're on your phone. I don't want you to get off your phone right now, but tell me. So we had in our momentum retreat last week, we had 2 speakers come in and talk about wealth dynamics, or increasing your wealth, because wealth is basically what's left over after the money is gone, right? So that's all the energy around that. We're trying to create wealth in our lives by financially supporting ourselves, but also building a business that's not a prison, that instead is something that we enjoy doing, and that we're fueling the economy, and we're supporting society and all the things that entrepreneurship does, all the positive things, right? So we're creating wealth, but we're also trying to be more efficient. And one of the things that the number one struggle that people come to us when they are struggling with their business and growing is that they feel overwhelmed. In the beginning, it's usually getting consistent sales. As they're growing their business, it's that they feel overwhelmed. Who here feels overwhelmed? Well, one of the reasons why you might feel overwhelmed is because you're not being as effective or efficient as you possibly can. And your phone is distracting. So unless you're showing up for a pre-planned Q&A like this, or you are joining us for one of our tips or whatever, like, sure, check your phone when you need to catch up on social media. And I love having you guys in the audience here and stuff like that. But one of the worst productivity hacks is having your phone right next to you all day long. So you will get back 2 to 3 hours a day if you move your phone across the room. You put a timer on it for, anywhere from 45 minutes to 90 minutes while you're working in sprints on specific projects. So we talk a lot about time blocking, about planning out your days and schedules and all those things. And those are extremely important for growing your business and your sales. So if you don't know how to do that, then keep following us, because we teach a lot about it. But there's a difference between time blocking and doing all those productivity hacks, but you're checking your phone every 10 minutes, right? Or you're checking your email, or you're getting distracted. The purpose of having those intense working sessions, is so that you're staying focused on what is in front of you, not getting distracted by the phone. And Karen saying, Tracy, it's like Pretty Woman, you keep posting. I know, we keep posting. Well, we're trying to, we have 5 slots left for the TYC. So we're doing what we can to serve our audience, and we're showing up a lot. We probably will continue for the rest of the week. So with that being said, I just want to tell you that if you want to be more efficient, stop putting your phone right next to you as you're working, unless it's serving a purpose towards that working session. And checking your text message is not it. So productivity hack from Brendon Burchard: don't check your email all day. Only check it 3 times a day or once a day. Customer service email, I think, should be checked more frequently, but that's my opinion. Keep your phone away from you so you're not getting distracted when you're working, and stay focused on the task at hand, and set a timer, and use productivity music like Brain.fm as well to keep you focused. All right, you guys, I said I was going to be here for 90 minutes, and we are at the 90-minute marker, and I think I answered all of the questions that came in. Who here is thinking about joining us for our TYC program? If you are still on the fence and you are not sure, here's your invite to get your application in and jump on the phone with Natasha. She barely has any phone calls, time slots, or anything left anymore. So if you are not serious about this and you're not going to show up for the call, please do not book a call. We are not in the business of helping people who are not committed to growing their business. I'm in the business of helping people who are committed to themselves, who are going to invest in themselves, who are going to take action and do the work, even in the discomfort, because they are so committed to their outcomes. So I got Lily, I got Elizabeth, awesome guys. I would love for you to shoot me a message if you've already filled out the application. I want to tell Natasha to take a look out for you guys. I have a bunch of people here who already joined, Jana Pearl and Who else on here? A bunch of people on here who are joining us for TYC. They said, I'm all signed up. They joined in the early bird where they got some incentives and stuff like that. So we are closing enrollment. If you are interested in learning more about this, fill out the application by heading on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/get more sales. Or you can just type in flourishthriveacademy.com/TYC, and you'll find the page with the application right there. If you're still not sure and you want to text me, you can text me over at 602-492-1258. I personally respond to all of those text messages. I'm happy to answer any questions about your unique such situation via text. I don't have time to pick up the phone today, so I won't be able to call you or anything like that or book a call with you. That's what Natasha's for. She is happy to walk you through your scenario and help you grow. You might be wondering who the TYC is for. It is perfect for designers who already have an established business, who are making anywhere from a couple of $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month from other channels. They are interested in, but they don't have a lot of sales online yet. That's really especially on their branded website. They might be getting sales from Etsy. They might be getting sales from other areas, but for some reason or another, they just haven't figured out how to get the sales on their website. And so they're an Operation Expand My Network, Operation Grow My Email List, Operation Get More Traffic to My Website because I want to make those sales. So you already have some sales coming in from other areas. You might also have online sales. We're interested in helping you add another $3,000 to $8,000 a month in revenue to your online sales. So if that sounds like you already have sales coming from other sources, you have a website up already, you're ready to do the work, you want to invest in yourself, you're committed to taking action, and you want to add another $3,000 to $8,000 a month in revenue over the next 2 to 3 months, then please join us. And head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/get more sales. The reason why we run it at this time of the year is because the workshop ends in July. We have a couple of off weeks during like holiday weeks and stuff like that. Those are usually implementation weeks. It ends in July, and holiday season technically starts around August. And we want to move you into action right then. So by the time you're done with this, you already have all the tools you need to grow a successful online sales strategy for holiday. And it works. Trust me on that. All right. This is Tracy. I'm going to sign off right now. Thank you so much for joining me. What an amazing, amazing Q&A. If you know anyone who could use a little help training their customers to buy from them online, please share this video with them. And let's do this. I'm going to actually post this Q&A here. It's a long one on Instagram, and this will remain on our Facebook pages and groups. If you have any questions, you can find me on Facebook or Instagram, message me personally or message Flourish and Thrive Academy, and we will answer your question and help you out. Thanks so much. I am so excited. I want to mention this. We only have 5 slots left. So if you're serious about this, get your application in now because we expect to fill up by the end of the week before the first training starts on April 8th. So that's all for me right now. I am super excited to support you in training your customers and training yourself to buy online. All right. Ciao, ciao for now. Bye.